The Labour Party has found itself embroiled in its own betting controversy this morning, and they have suspended their candidate, Kevin Craig, who's now being investigated by the Gambling Commission, because he bet on himself to lose in this election.
Yeah, now, joining us now is Shadow in a moment. I know today you're setting out your plans to end the 8 a.m. scramble for a GP appointment, aren't you? I think we'd all agree that would make a difference. The real question is, can you actually deliver it? So just a couple of quick points. There's a junior doctor strike coming up. They want a 35% pay rise. Are you going to give it them? And there's a cap on the number of doctors that we train in medical schools of £7,500 a year. Are you going to lift that cap?
Well, that's interesting you say that, because Kevin Craig, your own parliamentary candidate, so convinced he was going to lose that he bet against himself. Now, how widespread is this in the Labour Party that your candidates are placing bets on their own fortunes, do you think? Now one rule for this particular candidate. But Robert Peston...
there isn't, because we've suspended him.
Yeah, no, I know, but, I mean, suspended him for doing something wrong, apparently. I mean, you don't suspend somebody...
That's what you do. Yeah. That's what you do if you're a leader.
OK, but my question is, how widespread is this? Robert Peston suggests that this might be something that's more common than just one candidate.
My understanding...
Commission to tell you about any others, or are you going to check with candidates?
My understanding...
The question was, are you going to just rely on the Gambling Commission to raise this with you, or are you now going to ask all of your candidates, have you placed an inappropriate bet? My question isn't, is he going to act if the Gambling Commission highlight a candidate? My question is, are you, as a party, going to ask all of the candidates if they've placed an inappropriate bet?
All I know at this stage.
Okay.
If I can change subject, one of the main themes we're talking about today is council tax. The value of most people's bands in this country was done in 1991 by a stopgap drive-by valuation. We've seen massive changes in house prices since. There's 400,000 people potentially in the wrong band. Challenging is difficult. Do you think the current council tax bands and system are fair? Fair or not? I didn't ask you whether you're reforming it. I asked you whether they're fair.
They're wrong
It is
and
unfair, but you won't be doing anything about it.
No, we're not going to... We're not...
There is
poverty to the NHS.
one more question I'd like to get to you, and I don't have much time.
OK, Martin.
And because I was asked this question yesterday by somebody who was worried during my phone-in on This Morning, also of this parish. I can't answer it because I'm not you. You're Shadow Work and Pension Secretary. I was asked by somebody who... a 62-year-old lady who was panicking because she was hearing you were going to get rid of the 25% tax-free allowance on pensions. Can you tell her now that you are not planning to do that at all in the life of the next Parliament? She will be able to take 25%. It's not an agendered question. She was worried. Can you put her mind at rest? Genuous.
It is not.
It is because you have said the manifesto.
It's an honest answer.
You have said the manifesto are the things that we will definitely do. But I've heard from many Labour ministers there are other things that we would like to do that are not in the manifesto. What I'm asking you is, can you rule out that you will get rid of the 25% tax-free allowance? A yes or no? Will you be getting rid of the 25% tax-free allowance during the next Parliament?
We have
budget. We're talking about what this particular viewer had asked Martin directly, and he's asking you, is this going to happen or not?
And there are...
Forgive me, the way a straight answer would be no, we're not going to... Sorry, Shadow Minister, Shadow Secretary of State. A straight answer would be, no, we're not going to do it, not saying it's not in our manifesto, because manifesto isn't all-encompassing. But I appreciate you've done your best for us and we have run out of time. We appreciate you being with us on the show this morning. Thank you for your time, Liz Kendall. OK. It's interesting, isn't it, when politicians say we have no plans to do that, because that sounds like they're not going to do it. The question that it lingers is... You might not have any plans to do that right now, but if things don't turn out as you planned, would you have a plan to do it? It's actually more than that. I need the party, a private policy. They said, we're not for the next Parliament. Now, what you heard, I mean, I'm no wiser of whether it will or won't happen. Yeah. I think it would be quite a big shift. I would have just thought she would have ruled it out of hand, but maybe they've been told they can't do that on the spin line.